It's showtime.
Happy Halloween, 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 happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Happy Halloween, 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 happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
They're coming to get you, Barbara. They're coming for you, Barbara.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to another Halloween video by Spookakai. And welcome to our first movie review of the Halloween season. I'm going to be doing 4 movie reviews. I just thought it might be a good touch to the Halloween season. And we got some pretty heavy bangers in this lineup. So for my first review, I'm going to be looking at none other than John Carpenter's The Thing. Some people would consider this their favorite horror movie, and I completely understand where they're coming from. It's probably John Carpenter's goriest horror movie, and I don't think there's anything like it. That's why people love it so much. And it is my favorite John Carpenter movie. This movie came out in 1982. The Thing is a remake of a 1950s movie called The Thing from Another World, which was referenced in John Carpenter's Halloween from 1978. If you have not seen this movie or don't even know what it's about, please go watch the movie first and then come back to this review. You're gonna have a way better experience, trust me. But let's get started and talk about John Carpenter's The Thing. Now, when it comes to explaining the plot of The Thing, it's pretty confusing, because there is so much madness going on. What you basically have here is a group of scientists doing a study in Antarctica, and they come across an extraterrestrial being that can imitate any living organism. But it's very hard for it to do a perfect imitation, meaning like there's some sort of like monstrous feature to it. And that's when the practical effects come to work. The practical effects in this movie are top freaking notch. I've never seen anything like The Thing. Just like all the goriness and like the grossness going on, it's just, they had to put up so much work. Just like watching the movie, you can tell they put in hours and hours of this work. There's a lot of stop motion in this movie, but it's not poorly made. It's very ahead of its time. The main character Mac is played by Kurt Russell. Keith David, who was in They Live, plays Childs. And some other phenomenal actors. Which leads me to my point that the acting in this movie is very good. Makes you believe that they're not acting when they're going through all that pain during the transformations. This movie is bonkers. And it's really scary too. Like if I was to watch this when I was younger, I'd probably be really scared. My favorite quote in the movie is probably,
"We're gonna draw a little bit of everybody's blood. We're gonna find out who's the thing."
the blood test scene is obviously iconic. Because in my opinion, it has the most scary scene in the whole movie. And that is the face melting off. I don't even know how they would do this. That is how cool this movie is. They take things to the next level. My favorite scene is probably the head spider scene, where one of the scientists' head decomposes and it has like little legs coming out of his head, which is pretty good. That's probably the most iconic scene in the whole movie. And it's in my intro. You can tell they use stop motion in this scene. And the eyeballs just start growing out of the head, and it is freaking grotesque. Now let's get down to my least favorite scene. I just feel like the scene doesn't really have much of a purpose other than to hint that the dog has a thing and to start off the movie. They kill the guy that was shooting the dog, and then never talked about him again in the whole movie. And what is up with this guy's stormtrooper aim? Like, bro, a dog's not that fast. I got the 4K of this movie last year, and it looks great in 4K. I have not seen the 2011 prequel, but I heard it's very disappointing. Alright, now I'm going to give The Thing ratings out of 5 stars. I'm going to rate it how scary it is, how much drama there is in it, and how much of a thriller element there is. Alright, I'm giving it a 4.5 on the scarometer. It is very scary, very grotesque. There's just a lot to take in this movie, and it should not be seen by a young one. On the drama meter, I'm going to give it a 5 star. Just this intense element that you're just wondering, who is the thing? Who has this perfect imitation? And on the thrill meter, I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. Lots of thrill elements in it. But can we talk about the ending for a second? So 2 people survived, Mac and Childs. They both just look at each other, and it just leaves the viewer left to wonder, who is the thing? Some people think Childs is the thing, but I strongly believe that Mac is the thing. He's just staring at Childs very mysteriously like he's gonna do something. And he literally says to Childs, "Why don't we stay here for a while, see what happens?" And that's when the movie cuts. So that's why I strongly believe that Mac is the thing. I also want to give props to the Blair Monster scene. That scene had to not be easy to pull off. But thank you guys so much for watching my first movie review of the season. But until I see you next, it's Spooky Kai here. Stay scared.